First impressions. Sophia Chen adjusted her blazer and took a deep breath before entering the crowded hotel ballroom. At 32, she was the youngest design director at Eastwood Interiors, and today's announcement would determine whether all her sacrifices had been worth it. The Mayfair Hotel Restoration Project, the developer was saying from the podium, represents not just an architectural challenge, but a chance to honor Chicago's historic legacy while creating something boldly modern. Sophia scanned the room, recognizing most of the city's design elite. Her gaze stopped on an unfamiliar face, a man leaning against the far wall, arms crossed, with an intensity that made him stand out despite his relaxed posture. The finalists for this $20 million project are Eastwood Interiors and Parker Design Group. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Sophia's heart raced. They'd made the shortlist. Her team had worked for months on the preliminary concepts. "Congratulations," said a voice beside her. It was him, the man from across the room. Up close, his eyes were a startling shade of green against his olive skin. "Liam Parker," he said, extending his hand. "Looks like we'll be competing." Sophia hesitated before accepting his handshake. "Sophia Chen, and yes, it seems we will." His grip was firm, warm. "May the best designer win," he said with a half-smile that suggested he already knew who that would be. "Oh, I intend to," she replied, returning his smile with equal confidence. Later that week, both firms presented their initial concepts. Sophia watched Liam's presentation with growing admiration and frustration. His vision was breathtaking, preserving the hotel's Art Deco elements while introducing contemporary flourishes that somehow enhanced rather than overwhelmed the original design. When her turn came, Sophia presented Eastwood's more dramatic approach: bold colors, unexpected materials, and innovative lighting solutions that transformed spaces throughout the day. She felt Liam's eyes on her throughout, his expression unreadable. "Impressive," he said afterward in the hallway, where they found themselves alone. "Though perhaps a bit ambitious for the conservative board. Unlike your safely traditional approach?" she countered. He laughed, a genuine sound that softened his features. "Traditional? That's a first?" "Then perhaps we both misjudged," Sophia said, surprising herself with the admission. The developer interrupted their exchange. "Ms. Chen, Mr. Parker, the board has made an unusual decision. They admire elements from both your proposals but can't agree on a direction." Sophia's stomach tightened. This couldn't be good. Rather than choosing now, the developer continued, they'd like both firms to collaborate on a joint proposal, combining the best of both visions. "That's," Liam began. "Impossible," Sophia finished. "It's non-negotiable," the developer said firmly. "You have 6 weeks. First meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. at the hotel." After he left, Sophia and Liam stood in stunned silence. "Well," Liam finally said, "this should be interesting." "Interesting isn't the word I'd use," Sophia replied, though she couldn't deny the flutter of something beyond professional concern at the thought of working closely with Liam Parker. As she gathered her materials, their hands brushed briefly. The small contact sent an unexpected current through her fingers up her arm. Their eyes met, and she knew he'd felt it too. This project had just become dangerous in ways neither of them had anticipated. Forced collaboration. The Mayfair Hotel's penthouse suite had been converted into a makeshift studio, with blueprints covering every surface and material samples stacked in neat piles. Sophia arrived early, arranging her sketches when Liam walked in carrying 2 coffee cups. "Peace offering," he said, sliding one toward her. "Vanilla latte, no foam." Sophia raised an eyebrow. "How did you know my order?" "I didn't. I asked your assistant," he admitted with a shrug. "Thought we should start on better terms than yesterday." She accepted the coffee, their fingers briefly touching. "Smart move, Parker." The first week of collaboration was tense. They argued over everything: color palettes, furniture placement, lighting concepts. Their teams watched awkwardly as each debate grew increasingly heated. "The original moldings need to be the focal point," Liam insisted during one particularly intense discussion. "Your lighting plan overwhelms them." "The moldings are beautiful, but they're not sacred," Sophia countered. This isn't a museum. It's a living space that needs to function in 2025. Late one evening, after everyone else had left, Sophia found Liam standing alone in the empty ballroom, staring at the ceiling, beyond the blueprint. The storm arrived without warning, sheets of rain pounding against the hotel's windows as Sophia and Liam finalized material selections. Thunder cracked overhead, and the lights flickered once, twice, before plunging the space into darkness. Perfect timing, Sophia muttered, using her phone's flashlight to navigate through the room. Emergency lights should kick in soon, Liam said, his voice closer than she expected. They collided in the darkness, Liam's hands instinctively steadying her. Even in the dim light, Sophia could see his expression change, professional concern giving way to something more personal. "You okay?" he asked, his voice lower. "Fine," she whispered, acutely aware of his hands still resting lightly on her waist. The emergency lights remained stubbornly dark. Outside, the storm intensified. "Power's out across the neighborhood," Liam said, checking his phone. "They're saying it could be hours." They gathered candles from the hotel's storage, creating a warm glow throughout the studio. With work impossible, they sat on the floor, sharing the last of Liam's expensive whiskey he kept in his desk drawer for design emergencies. "Definitely qualifies," Sophia laughed, accepting the paper cup. The intimacy of candlelight dissolved the last of their professional barriers. Sophia found herself telling Liam about her recent breakup, how her ex had ultimately resented her success. "He said I was exhaustingly ambitious," she admitted. "Like passion was some kind of character flaw." "His loss," Liam said simply. "That passion is what makes your work exceptional." The compliment lingered between them. Sophia studied his face in the flickering light, noticing for the first time the faint scar above his eyebrow, the way his confident exterior softened in unguarded moments. "What do you see?" she asked quietly. He didn't turn around. "Possibility. Whenever I'm stuck, I try to see the space through fresh eyes." Sophia stood beside him, following his gaze upward. The ornate ceiling had been partially restored, its intricate patterns half hidden under decades of paint. "It's like it's trapped," she murmured. "All that beauty waiting to breathe again." Liam looked at her with newfound interest. Exactly. Something shifted between them that night. The next day, instead of arguing, they listened to each other. Liam admitted her lighting concept would enhance the restored details. Sophia conceded his furniture arrangements better honored the room's proportions. By the third week, they'd developed an unexpected rhythm. Sophia's bold vision complemented Liam's technical precision. They began staying later, ordering dinner, sharing stories over half-empty takeout containers. "Why hotels?" Sophia asked one night, chopsticks poised over pad thai. Liam hesitated. "My mother was a hotel housekeeper. Single parent, worked double shifts. Sometimes I'd wait in the lobbies after school." His eyes softened with the memory. Those grand spaces felt like something from another world. "And now you create them," Sophia said. "Try to," he corrected. "What about you? What brought you to design?" "Rebellion initially," she laughed. "My parents wanted me to be a doctor, but I'd redesign my bedroom every few months. Eventually, they realized my passion wasn't going away." As Sophia gathered her things to leave, Liam touched her elbow. "I've been meaning to say, your concept for the rooftop garden is brilliant. I wouldn't have thought of bringing those textile elements outdoors." The compliment, unexpected and sincere, warmed her more than it should have. "Thank you. That means a lot coming from you." Their eyes held a moment too long before Sophia looked away, suddenly conscious of how close they were standing, how empty the building was around them. "Good night, Liam," she said softly, stepping back. "Good night, Sophia." Walking to her car, Sophia tried to ignore the unsettling realization that somewhere between arguments and compromises, Liam Parker had stopped being just a competitor. The boundaries she'd carefully maintained were blurring, and the prospect was as exhilarating as it was terrifying. What she didn't see was Liam watching her leave from the window, his expression reflecting the same conflicted emotions. "What about you?" she asked. "Anyone waiting at home during these late nights?" Liam shook his head. Not anymore. My last relationship ended when I canceled one too many plans for work. He twirled the cup between his fingers. She wasn't wrong, though. I've always put the firm first. It's hard to find someone who understands, Sophia said quietly. Their eyes met across the candlelight. Yes, Liam agreed. It is. The next morning, their teams found them asleep on opposite couches, blueprints scattered between them. If anyone noticed the shift in their dynamic, the lingering glances, the way they now worked in synchronized harmony, nobody mentioned it. Their progress accelerated, but so did complications. The project's structural engineer discovered issues with the original building that required significant redesigns. The budget tightened. Deadlines loomed. During one particularly stressful afternoon, Sophia's phone rang repeatedly. She ignored it until Liam insisted she take the call. When she returned, her face was pale. My father had a heart attack, she said, voice shaking. I need to go to San Francisco right away. Without hesitation, Liam took charge. I'll drive you home to pack, then to the airport. But the presentation deadline? We'll figure it out, he assured her. Family comes first. In the days that followed, Liam sent her regular updates about the project, but also messages of support. When Sophia finally returned a week later, she found Liam had not only kept their work on schedule, but had incorporated several of her unfinished design elements she'd thought impossible to implement. How did you manage this? She asked in amazement. Liam shrugged. I saw your sketches. I knew what you were trying to achieve. Impulsively, Sophia hugged him. Thank you, she whispered against his shoulder. When she pulled back, something had changed. The tension that had been building between them crystallized into something undeniable. This time, when their eyes met, neither looked away. Breaking point. The presentation was 2 weeks away. The Mayfair's restoration had transformed from a professional challenge into something deeply personal for both Sophia and Liam. Their joint design had evolved into a stunning fusion of tradition and innovation that exceeded even their own expectations. Late one evening, as Sophia adjusted the lighting mock-ups, she realized Liam had disappeared for his third mysterious phone call of the day. Everything okay? She asked when he returned, tension visible in his shoulders. Fine, he answered too quickly. Just client stuff. But something in his averted gaze troubled her. They had grown close enough that she recognized when he was holding back. The next morning, Sophia arrived early to find an envelope had been slipped under the studio door. Inside was a contract draft with Mayfair Hotel letterhead, offering the entire project exclusively to Parker Design Group, with a substantial bonus for streamlining the design process. Her stomach dropped. The date on the document was from yesterday. When Liam walked in, his smile faded at the sight of the paper in her hands. Sophia, I can explain. Were you going to tell me? Her voice was deadly calm. Or just wait until after our presentation to announce you're taking the project solo. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think, she cut him off. You've been negotiating behind my back while I've been pouring everything into our collaboration. Liam stepped closer. Please, just listen. I trusted you, Sophia said, the hurt in her voice unmistakable. I actually believed we were building something meaningful, both with this design and... She couldn't finish the sentence. We are, Liam insisted. Walter Mayfair approached me yesterday. I told him I needed time to think. And you didn't think to mention this to your partner? She emphasized the last word with bitter irony. I was going to discuss it with you today. I wanted to understand what they were offering before I brought it to you. Sophia gathered her things. Save it, Liam. I've heard enough corporate doublespeak in my career to recognize it. You got what you needed from me, and now you're taking the credit. That's not true. Then why keep it secret at all? His silence was damning. That's what I thought, she said quietly. Congratulations on your win, Mr. Parker. I'll have my team clear out our materials today. As Sophia walked out, Liam called after her, but she didn't turn back. The tears didn't come until she reached her car, tears of anger, disappointment, and the particular heartache that comes from being proven right about keeping your guard up. That evening, Sophia's phone filled with unanswered texts and calls from Liam. She ignored them all while reorganizing her team to salvage what they could for other projects. "We've survived worse," she assured them, though the hollow feeling in her chest suggested otherwise. 3 days later, Walter Mayfair himself appeared at Eastwood's office. "Miss Chen, I believe there's been a misunderstanding," the elderly developer said, settling into a chair across from her desk. "I understand perfectly," Sophia replied coolly. "You've chosen Parker Design?" Walter shook his head. "Actually, Mr. Parker declined our offer rather forcefully. Said the Mayfair deserved the full vision you two had created together, or nothing at all." Sophia stared at him in disbelief. "When I suggested perhaps Eastwood could take the lead instead, he said he wouldn't accept that either." Walter chuckled. "Quite passionate about your partnership, that young man." After Walter left, Sophia sat motionless, processing this revelation. Why would Liam turn down the offer? And why hadn't he told her? She drove to the Mayfair, finding Liam alone in their studio, surrounded by their joint designs. "Walter Mayfair came to see me," she said from the doorway. Liam looked up, exhaustion evident in his face. "I was going to tell you everything, but you wouldn't take my calls. Why did you turn down the offer?" He stood, closing the distance between them. "Because it wasn't right. This design," he gestured to the room, "is ours, together. It wouldn't exist without both of us." "You could have taken the credit, the bonus," Sophia said, still not understanding. Liam's gaze softened. "Some things matter more than contracts, Sophia." The weight of those words hung between them as she realized he wasn't just talking about the hotel. Redesigned Future Presentation Day arrived with nervous energy. The Mayfair's board members and investors filled the hotel's restored lobby as Sophia and Liam prepared their final pitch. They had cautiously rebuilt their working relationship over the past week, but something fragile remained unaddressed between them. "Ready?" Liam asked as they stood backstage. Sophia nodded, smoothing her dress. "Ready as I'll ever be." Their presentation was flawless, a testament to their combined vision. They guided the audience through virtual renderings of each space, explaining how they'd honored the hotel's history while reimagining its future. The seamless way they traded speaking parts, complementing each other's points, wasn't lost on the impressed audience. "The Mayfair has always been about creating moments," Sophia concluded. "Not just a place to stay, but a place to remember. Our design doesn't just restore what was," Liam added. "It creates what could be." The applause was immediate and enthusiastic. As board members approached with congratulations, Sophia felt a rush of pride mixed with sadness. Once this project was awarded, their partnership would end. Whether to her firm, his, or both together, this collaboration had reached its conclusion. During the reception that followed, Walter Mayfair clinked his glass for attention. After much deliberation, the board has decided to award the Mayfair restoration to... He paused dramatically. "The joint venture of Eastwood Interiors and Parker Design Group." Cheers erupted as Sophia and Liam exchanged surprised glances. "Furthermore," Walter continued, "we were so impressed with their collaborative approach that we're commissioning them for our upcoming projects in Boston and San Francisco." The celebration continued late into the evening. As the crowd thinned, Sophia found herself on the Mayfair's newly renovated balcony, overlooking Chicago's glittering skyline. "Quite a view," Liam said, joining her with 2 champagne glasses. "It's perfect," she agreed, accepting the drink. "Though I'm still processing what just happened." 3 major projects, Liam mused. "Our firms will be tied together for years." Sophia turned to face him. "Is that what you want? More forced collaboration?" "Nothing about working with you has felt forced," he said quietly. "Not for a long time." The admission hung between them, honest and vulnerable. "I need to know," Sophia said. "Why did you really turn down Walter's offer?" Liam set down his glass, his expression serious. "When I saw that contract, my first thought wasn't about the money or the prestige. It was about not seeing you every day." He took a deep breath. "I realized I didn't want this project to end because I didn't want us to end." Sophia's heart quickened. "And what exactly are we, Liam?" "Something I never expected," he answered, stepping closer. "Something I'm not willing to lose over a contract." That's still not an answer, she whispered, though she was smiling now. Partners, he said, his hand gently cupping her face. In every sense of the word, if you want that too. Instead of answering, Sophia closed the distance between them. Their first kiss was soft, tentative, before deepening with all the emotion they'd held back for weeks. When they finally separated, Sophia laughed softly. Our teams are never going to let us live this down. Worth it, Liam murmured against her hair. 6 months later, the Mayfair Hotel reopened to rave reviews. Architecture magazines praised its perfect balance of historical reverence and contemporary vision, a seamless blend that felt both surprising and inevitable, just like the partnership that created it. In the hotel's magnificent lobby, a small plaque was installed beside the original cornerstone. It read simply, "Reimagined by Sophia Chen and Liam Parker, who discovered that the most beautiful designs emerge when we stop competing and start creating together." As for the designers themselves, they'd found that some partnerships transcend professional boundaries, creating something far more valuable than either could have built alone. A foundation for a future neither had planned, but both had somehow always been designing.